The combination of shrimp and dark rum seems like a natural for any tropical or pseudo-Polynesian appetizer, but ordering this in a restaurant is inevitably a disappointing experience. The sauce is usually based on ketchup and sugar, and the shrimp are boiled in it until they're like pencil erasers. Still, nothing says 1950s tiki bar like flaming shrimp. This is one of the best shrimp dishes ever because it doesn't hide the shrimp in a sea of sugar or vinegar, and the flavor is uniquely tropical and very complex.
As usual, we're going to begin with assembling all the ingredients. We have the ghee or melted butter that's been clarified, the red and regular onion, some garlic, some ginger, bay leaf, brown cardamom pod. Now we're going to begin heating. Okay, pan's on heat of 5 out of 1 to 10. I put the clarified butter in there and onions. Sit down for a few minutes. Watching the time now. After about 5 minutes, when the onions have begun to soften, I'm going to add the bay leaf and that brown cardamom pod. And continue cooking for roughly 10 more minutes. Okay, it's been about 7 more minutes. Now I'm going to add the ginger and the garlic to this. I'm going to cook it for another few minutes. About 3 more minutes, and you can see the condition of this. This is quite cooked now, and I'm going to add the coconut to this tablespoon. We're going to toast this among the rest of this before we continue. And you got to be very careful with this to make sure it doesn't burn. Only give it a minute or 2. This is looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and add that apricot from the earlier part, 200 grams of this. It's not apricot jam, remember, it's cooked with sugar, but it's not a jam. I'm lowering the heat down to 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. It's on 3. I'm also going to add, at this point, half a teaspoon of the ground fenugreek and a little salt, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And we're going to simmer this for just a few, for about 7 minutes. Add cayenne to this and 120 milliliters of chicken stock. And I kill the heat here, stir it around. Let it sit here for a couple minutes. I'm going to fish out that brown cardamom pod. In fact, here it is right here. And in a minute I'll fish out that bay leaf when I see it too. They're just going to basically let this steep for a few minutes. There's that bay leaf. Let's get that out of there too. In making these, it's important that your shrimp are quite dry, and then you want to season them pretty aggressively with salt, more than you would usually use, because there's almost no salt in the sauce. So I'm going to put these off to the side while the pan gets hot. Also, I'm going to get this ready in another bowl. A little bit of the sauce that we prepared earlier. I'm going to also add to this a couple of drops of Angus store bitters. And because I like it hot, I'm also going to add a little dash of tabasco sauce and stir this up and just sit this off to the side. We'll be putting the shrimp in this, tossing the shrimp in this in just a minute. The other thing you want to have standing by is some dark rum and a lighter before we start cooking shrimp. You want a cast iron surface here, cast iron grill that's very hot, smoking hot before we begin. We're only going to give these a few seconds on the first side before we're going to turn them. I'm showing you the entire cooking process here. Secret. This is the key to all the flavors coming in right here. Is this extreme high heat we're cooking these on. Turn them up on their end. Now we add the rum and Flambéed. Into the sauce they go. And just toss them around a bit here. When plating, of course, add the rest of the sauce out of the bottom of the bowl onto the top of this.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.